All right. Hey, what's up? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the G-Hole Podcast. This is coming out a day late. This is coming out Tuesday, March 23rd. Usually I put them out on Monday, but I'm in New York City. I got here and I forgot a cord. I had to go buy a cord for one of my cords. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing some shows in New York City. Did Eastville, did that Penthouse show that Shaki and Jake is her name. It's in Brooklyn. Check that out. You can go to my Instagram to see that if you're in New York City. It was a lot of fun. It was a good show. Um, then Old Man Hustle and stuff. But I'll be in DC this Thursday at O'Sullivan's Pub in Arlington. If you go on my social media, you'll see all that. Hope to see you. And then I'll be in Jersey. I think it's a private show. I don't know. I get paid the same no matter what, but I think it's a private show somewhere in New Jersey. Anyways, all right. So back to this. Let's focus. So today, man, I got my buddy Sonny Von Cleveland, who's a dude I just met back in Cleveland. Just a random guy who was at a comedy show of mine, and just a cool dude. Most intimidating dude you would think. He looks like Chris Anderson, the Birdman that used to play for the Denver Nuggets. I think I made some references of him looking like Machine Gun Kelly or something from stage, and just like the most intimidating dude, but just the nicest, most full of energy dude you could possibly meet. Ended up talking to him afterwards. Then he's got like this show that the Daily Brew and the Sonny Von Cleveland show on YouTube. It's got like 10,000 subscribers to it. So I didn't realize he had like his own little entertainment empire. So hanging out with him, and he's a dude that's been in a bunch of rock bands and everything. I wanted to talk about that, and because I've watched some of his shows, and his fan base is really cool. It's a nice positive vibe thing. And then this is very real. He was in prison for 18 years. He talks about some rough life of childhood, getting sexually abused as a kid. So this gets heavy. You try to keep jokes in there, but this is very heavy. Warning, but it's all we have fun through the whole thing. I don't know how you make jokes about that, but yeah, we do. We have fun. And also want to give a shout out to a friend of mine. A friend of mine passed away a couple years ago. Andrew Behrens is a filmmaker. Matilda's Dream was probably his biggest film document. It's a documentary that he did, and just remembering him. It's weird. Actually, I had a fallout with a friend, a mutual friend of ours. I was coming back to New York, and I didn't have my buddy was doing a show, so I didn't really have a place to go to, and so I hit her. So she was calling me, talking about him passing away and everything. And it's very sad. And he was a good dude. He's a good buddy of mine. And then I'm like, oh, hey, and it's like, oh, also it's COVID. My buddy, I don't got a place to go to for a few hours. How about I swing? I was like, no, I'm too sad. It's like, all right, well, it is COVID. I have nowhere else to go, type of thing. And and then she sent me a lot. And you know what? And the more thing, I wasn't really a friend, because I think she's like all the favors she's done for me. And this is a girl that's from Cleveland, my hometown, that I've driven her back and forth from New York to Cleveland like 20 times. I would come over and fix it. And I'm trying to think of all the favors she did for me. I never, which, by the way, I didn't mind doing any of that stuff for her. But yeah, so I never had to cut someone. It's the first time I ever had to cut someone out of my life. I was like, hey, all right, never mind. It's cool. I don't need to swing over there. Just don't talk to me for a while, because I know I'll unload. And then she sent me an email about all these things that are wrong with me. So I was like, all right. So I took off the gloves. I let her have it. And she was a friend, essentially just someone I grew up with, but you grow apart. Like, she would go to comedy shows and complain about every comedian she saw. And also remember, like, once I hosted a show, Sacapuntas, at the Bowery Poetry Club. And so it's like Jim Gaffigan's on the show, Janine Garofalo, Hannibal Buress. I'm hosting the show. It's a sold out show. But I'm like, hey, if you want to come, anyways, like, come. And then she got mad at me because I wouldn't go watch her run a marathon. She's like, I went to your comments. I was saying go because it's an amazing show. You know, it's a fucking sold out show. I thought so. Yeah, fuck her. Yeah, I want to go watch you run a marathon. Who the fuck does the nerve of someone to invite someone to go watch them run a marathon. How fucking pathetic is that? It's like me, like, you know what? I'm gonna go do the Stairmaster later. Anyone want to come wear t-shirts and support me while I'm on a fucking Stairmaster? Please do. Just clueless on it. So anyways, it felt good. I knew I would go off on her because I 5 years I bit my tongue with her shitting on me, shitting on comedy, shitting on my life. And if I dare say anything mean, it's like I feel you're using me as an emotional punching bag. I fucking punched back. I gave it to her. But anyways, that's not Andrew's fault. He was a good dude. Check out Andrew Barron's films. I wish him the best. But Sonny Von Cleveland, man, this is a very heavy episode. Very heavy, this one. And Silk City Hot Sauce. Check them out, silkcityhotsauce.com. Put it in the G-hole, and you get 20% off all your orders. All right. I love everybody. I got another one coming out this week, and I want to do a Patreon hang. I'm trying to do a Patreon hang maybe this week. I'll try to do one this week while I'm just bouncing around. All right. I love everybody. Enjoy. Peace. Welcome, man. This is a G-Hole podcast. My buddy, Sonny Von Cleveland.
What's up, Ray? Good to see you, my friend.
Good seeing you, fella. I just met Sonny randomly at a it's like an open mic comedy show in West Park, and your crew was there. I had questions all abound for you guys. Just seeing like I've never seen a dude that looks like you with so much positive energy. That you look like you just got like a second life somewhere or whatever. Just thankful for everything, but just a cool vibe. And then like I saw online, man, you guys got this huge network, the Sonny Von Cleveland Show. It's a daily show. It's on YouTube. Yep. And how about you explain to what that is? But it's impressive.
So, I mean, I have several different things. We have the morning podcast. It's called The Morning Brew. That's over on Delight's Digital Cafe, which is our YouTube channel over there. But I have my own channel. I have a reaction channel where I react to music, and I do live shows. I do live interviews with musicians around the world. And that's pretty much where I built my network from that. I mean, I was a musician prior to that in the Cleveland area, a local musician that, did the little touring all these local venues around here and smashing stages and getting drunk and just stupid stuff. And
what year was that, by the way? Because where are you from in Cleveland? I'm from Lakewood. I grew up in Lakewood. Went to high school in the 90s.
I grew up in Michigan. Actually.
Oh, okay. Where in Michigan?
From Lansing area in Lansing, Michigan.
I know Lansing. I was just up there. I was just in Jackson.
Oh yeah. That's a whole little area right there.
The Brass Rail.
Small town outside of it.
Okay.
But I was a bad kid, man. I got into a lot of trouble. I caught my first felony when I was 7. And by the time I was 15, I had like 12 felonies, and they got sick of me, and they said they were done with me and threw my ass into prison. So at 16, I went to prison.
Wow. What are the felonies? So what'd you do at 7?
Well, I mean, it wasn't just.
What is the household that you grew up in? Maybe because at 7, it's not. Yes. Okay. Yes. The kid could be an asshole.
Shit's going to get a little dark here, bro.
Dude, it's fine, man. It's fine. It's cool. Dude, I just appreciate just real stories. Like I just want real stories. So yeah, it's cool, man. Dude,
it gets real as fuck, bro. For real.
All right.
At the age of 5, I started being molested by men. Four different men for 5 years, from the age of 5 until I was 10.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, which caused me to do a lot of lashing out. And when I did lash out, I came to find that the attention of the policemen were the kind of attention I wanted from men. They were grown men that wanted to discipline me, teach me what was right, and didn't want to touch my dick. And I like that attention.
Yeah, no, I imagine you would.
Yeah, and so the only way to...
And at age 5, you don't even know that's right or wrong. Like you have no idea. You don't know if that's normal. You have no idea whatever.
Hey, you're gonna have to excuse me. I got my son today. So
that's
single parent in shared custody, so it's fun.
Okay. Is it cool we talk about this heavy stuff and he's there? Are you fine?
Yeah, he's only 3. He doesn't know. And I mean, I wear it on my sleeve. I use it as a motivational tool. 1 in 3 boys are molested in this world. 1 in 3 boys. So between you, me, and the next motherfucker that's sitting in this room, one of us was touched.
Okay, well, the other guy's probably going to be safe because you were
I take up that statistic. So, but no, I use it as a platform to speak for anybody that's been through that shit, because a lot of dudes don't talk about it, and that's the bad part. That's what it hurts you, man. As a dude, it hurts your life. It doesn't allow you to progress forward, and then you end up making a bunch of dumb decisions that you don't have to make.
Right.
So,
just to relate it back, like I have no nothing like that, but this is a friend of mine, Kurt Metzger. I don't know if you know who he is. His Comedy Central, where they tell like stories. It's called This Is Not Happening. It's a show on Comedy Central. He did this podcast, and he was talking about how when he was a kid, and another kid that like showed him his penis or whatever. And I was just saying like, and I related, like I never put two and two together. But we lived in Vermillion, Ohio for a couple of years. And this is when I was in fourth grade. We moved right after fourth grade, just coincidence. But there was this kid, Josh. I used to sleep at his house all the time, just play video games or whatever. And he'd sleep over my house. And then one day he's like, let me see your penis. And I was like, what? Like, it could have been a girl wanting to see my penis. I just wasn't sexually... It's just
not developed at that age, right?
Yeah, I have no clue. Like I thought we were playing video games. I don't know what all this penis talk is.
Right.
And then he showed me his penis, and I was like weirded out. And I called my dad to come pick me up, and I never put two and two together. But he was never cool to me again. And when we were in school, just one day he came up to me and he just punched me in the face twice and started crying and then ran away.
The fuck?
Yeah. And
if that was not a cry for help, I don't know what was.
Yeah. And I never told anybody, like, and I never put two and two together. And like we ended up moving. But my buddy Kurt was like, that dude was obviously molested.
Clearly.
That he was clearly molested as a kid. Like that's what defines that reaction.
Clearly.
So yeah, something was going on.
Yeah, it's fucking tragic, man. There are some absolute monsters and predators out there, man. When I'm 8, 9 years old, and I'm being victimized by the fourth dude in my life. You start as a child. Can
you say who it was in your life that did this to you?
Yeah, one was my uncle. Two of them were my mom's boyfriends, and then the fourth one was just a friend of my mother, a friend of the family. And it's a young kid starts to think that it's me. Like that's
right. No, I imagine.
There's 4 different dudes. There must be something about me. There's something wrong with me. And so psychologically, you take that shit in, and it destroys who you are. You have no
obviously,
sense of
dude. Obviously, that's not.
And so now I'm in love with the attention that I get from the police and the judges and the lawyers, because these guys, they care about you. Or so it seems.
Right. Yeah, so it seems.
And they don't want to touch your dick. They don't want to molest you. So I yearn for that attention. So I continue to break the law, because that's the only way I can get them to come see me.
That makes sense, man.
So I started smoking weed and drinking and actually fucking when I was 13. I don't know about your podcast.
No, dude, it's not. Yeah, dude, it's all real talk. Like, dude, I'm a comedian, but it's not like the days of corny 80s comedy or whatever. Like those are just real life shit. Just
real life shit is where it's at.
Yeah.
And so when I'm 13 years old, I started drinking and smoking weed and fucking and doing drugs, and I started going down a bad path, because now I start
emotionally. I'm 13. I'm 13-year-old emotionally as I'm drinking.
I have not matured past 21, so I'm still stuck. I'm a fucking 20-year-old in a 40-year-old body. But yeah, man, I hit 15 and I started, I had some big crimes under my belt, and they were like, you know what, we're fucking done with you. We're bonding you over to adult court. And they sent me to prison. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've never been taken away in my life. They never put me in a juvie home. They never did nothing. There's just always probation. And then out of nowhere, you're going to prison. And I'm like, fuck. All I know is prison movies. Like,
yeah.
Because I'm 16, I'm 6'5", I got a mustache, and I go to prison, and it's all black dudes. I've never seen that many black people in one spot in my life, and I fucking shit my pants. I'm like, what the fuck do I do?
Right.
Gangbangers, drug dealers, killers, thieves, rapists, murderers. I'm out of my element. And
you're like Eminem in 8 Mile.
It was bad. And so there was a very traumatic incident when I first got to prison in my first 30 days from two dudes. And after that, I made that decision. Like, I'll never be a victim again. You'll have to fucking kill me before I'll ever be anybody's victim. I would rather be a fucking predator than a victim. And so I lost my sense of fear for grown men, for anybody. And I became ridiculously violent. I got into gang banging, joined a gang, and I started stabbing people, and I got a thrill off of it. And the next 5 years of my life were filled with nothing but violence. It was all gang violence all the time. I was fighting literally every day. I mean, there was probably a 2-year span where every single day I was fighting. Somebody's getting stabbed, somebody's getting jumped, somebody's getting beat. Every day it was violent.
Dude, it's probably just because it was building up inside you over the years of you being just the victim. You're like, fuck it. It's either kill or be killed. And it's I'm going to be the aggressor.
I had no friends. I had no family. You know, nobody was in my corner. You know, I would come from a single mother household, and then she left when I got locked up. She left. She moved out of state with her boyfriend. So it was just me. I had nothing to lose. I fell in love with the camaraderie and the brotherhood of the gangs. And then at the end of the 5 years, they came and they were like, "Hey, by the way, your time's done. Get out." I'm like, okay, like no probation, no parole, no oversight, nothing. They gave me 3 condoms and $75, opened up the door and said, "Good luck."
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't need luck. I'm a fucking monster. I don't need luck. Now you got to imagine at this point, I'm heavily involved in gangbanging. I'm a very violent individual. I cannot cope in the real world. I don't know shit about it. I don't know how to fill out applications, nothing. And they just opened the door and let me go.
Yeah. Do they have programs for people like that you got out of jail to kind of like give you a little bit of guidance, like what to do now?
They do, but you have to take advantage of them.
Okay. You weren't in the mindset to give a shit.
Right. Nobody came to me and took an approach to say, "Hey, man, we need to fix you. You know, we need to get you on the right track." And my mind wasn't open to that anyway. So when they let me out, I just went bananas, bro. I went nuts. I robbed somebody in the first two days I was out. I had no money. And I'm like, I'm robbing somebody. So I jacked the dude at a Quality Dairy in Lansing. I just went up to him, knocked him
I know
out.
The Quality Dairies. I've connections on what the street was that on? I've been to Lansing a bunch.
Yeah, it got bad. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to be here. I got a girl pregnant, and I'm like, I fuck that. I don't want to be here. So I took off and I went across the country. I went all over the country, man, as many states as I could, robbing people all the way around the country. I just would hit a city and just rob people. I didn't care. I had nothing to lose. And I went out west, got another girl pregnant. I came back, started getting into robbing drug dealers. That was like really easy money and really good. Like they had a lot of product and they had a lot of money.
And also, it's not like they can report you. Like, what are they going to do?
And though, that's the thing.
I didn't know that. I would assume. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you're blowing the whistle on yourself if you.
That's what I thought. I thought, man, I'm safe as shit. I just started robbing drug dealers. I'm good. Job security. Nope. It's illegal to rob a drug dealer. So I ended up, it was just a bad circumstance.
I would have thought like honor amongst thieves. Like, you got me today.
I went into one guy's house that we knew was a pedophile and he had a lot of guns and like, I'm taking these guns. I went in and he made the mistake of coming home and I tried to beat him to death. And he refused to die apparently because when I thought he was dead, I left and he called the cops and it was a wrap. And then I got caught in another situation with my brother and a friend of mine. That's how we all got arrested on that. And this time they weren't playing, man. They gave me 12 years. They tried to give me 30 and I ended up taking out some plea bargains to some other things. And I ended up with 12 years. That was like a really pivotal moment in my life. The first 6 years of that, 5-6 years of that was still.
How old were you at this time?
23.
Okay.
I fell right
baby.
I fell right back into the rut of gang banging and violence and all that. But around 2008, I want to say 2008, I found out that my kid's mother was having an affair with my brother, who I took a lot of the time for and protected him from staying in prison. He went out and got her pregnant. And so I lost my mind on that. And in one particular situation, I ended up beating a dude pretty badly with some locks. And I got a 5-year sentence in the hole.
Oh, wow.
And then that's where everything changed in my life. I went to the hole and I met a Muslim guy named Mallory Bay. We were locking at the very end of the hallway, and this dude changed my life. Like it's like something straight out of American History X or some shit. Like the guy absolutely changed my life. He started calling over to me every day. It took about 2 weeks before I talked to him. I just cuss him out. Fuck you, shut up. Don't talk to me, bitch. Fuck you. I hate you. Shut up. But every morning he would call over to, hey, bro, come talk to me. Fuck you. And eventually some loneliness kicked in, and I just was like, man, what do you want to talk about, bro? And the dude changed my life, man. He started showing me what passion was and what it meant to love myself. This dude's doing the rest of his life in prison, had no reason to help me. Hey, get away from that amp. Come on. Do not touch the amp. And he just died. There he goes.
What was he in jail for?
Murder. Oh, yeah, he was in. Yeah, he'd been in there for 20 years, 25 years, doing the rest of his life. He's never leaving. Hey, and he showed me what it was like to have passion and to love yourself and care about yourself. And
what changed him around? Like where he changed his...
He went to prison when he was like 18 years old and been there his whole life. So, he had a passion to try to help people, to see that there's a different pathway in life, a different, just because you're here, you fucked up, made a bunch of mistakes, doesn't mean that you have to stay here. Doesn't mean that this is the be all end of your life. Like he showed me, you're going to be out when you're 35 years old, bro. That is still so young. Life really starts at 40. You have so much time to get out and make a significant impact in the world and be different. You can literally be anybody you want to be. There are no rules in life that say you have to be a certain way. So if you want to be this asshole convict that doesn't care about anything, doesn't rob anything, that's your choice. You're making that choice. If you want,
you still talk to this dude? You still like?
No, he's dead. He died.
Oh, he died. Okay.
Yeah. But
it'd be a real downer. You'd be like, it was suicide. It was suicide.
No, actually,
the story just takes a 180 right there.
No,
like he's just there to build you up. I'm like, what happened? He hung himself.
But yeah, he showed me all that, and so I spent the next 19 months of my life studying self-help books and breaking myself down and being honest with myself and learning how to be self-aware, finding out what I like, finding out what I don't like in life. Finding out what's passionate to me, and it's motivating people and motivational speaking and music. And so,
dude, it's insane. Like hearing you talk about like your past, because I just know you of this like fun-loving, like outward guy. That's like just, yeah. Like you do not. I think you got all the angerness out of you early. You got it all out. You did it early. You just like wrung it out like a sponge and be like,
I dealt with that shit. Well, listen, when you're stuck in a fucking box, bro, it's literally a 9x8x9 cell and you're stuck there 24.
I know. I've lived in the same apartment in New York City for 15 years. I know what a little
months straight, and it changes your life. Like I don't have any reason to be angry anymore. Like what the fuck? It's the past. The past cannot hurt you. Whatever happened 30 seconds ago, we can't do a fucking thing about. And the only way it can hurt you is if you allow it to. If you acknowledge it and give it that power, that's the only way it can hurt you.
Right.
And you can take the same approach with anything in your life, because I got out August of 2016. Bro, I had $100,000 a year corporate job with a suit in an office in Mayfield.
You got out of jail and you got a corporate job? How did that work out?
Not right away. I mean, I got out and I went to work for the union. I was married to a woman, and she helped me get a job.
How'd you meet a woman when you were in prison?
Well, I mean, it's a whole lot of stories. I got stabbed, and a buddy of mine, I was
stabbed in prison.
Oh, yeah, several times. That was
Jesus. There's a lot of stabbing going on.
One particular incident, I tried to sue the facility because you made me out to look like a rat when I wasn't. That's why I got stabbed, and I had to get somebody to get my information so that I could prove that I wasn't. And that's how I ended up meeting my buddy JJ, who introduced me to the girl that runs the law firm.
Who's JJ?
It's just it was an old cellmate of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a really good friend, and he introduced me to Michelle, who worked at the law firm. And Michelle and I clicked. We clicked really well, really quickly, and we ended up getting married. And then she lived in Akron, so when I got out, I moved down there with her, and she got me a job in Precision Pro Cut doing demolition. and I loved it. I got out, I went to work, busted my ass, making decent money. But I knew that music was my passion. And as soon as I found a way to make music and make money at it, I quit. I'm like, I'm out. And people are like, bro, you're insane for quitting that job. You're making $18, $19 an hour.
Well,
What's wrong
all
with
I
you?
know from these past stories, you're definitely not lazy.
No, hell no. So,
definitely not lazy.
Yeah, no,
you got a lot of energy. You just got to channel it. You definitely have energy.
So I did that until I started the band, and I started working at a music club and started a band, and I started kicking ass at it, and did really good, built up a good following, and I quit that job.
What's the name of the band? You guys still together?
No, it was Grim Trigger.
Okay.
It was a hell of a run, but no, we're not together.
Well, I see your show, your daily rock show. Like I come in sometimes.
Yeah.
You definitely like more metal, right? Is it metal heavy?
But I like everything, but my metal is my first love. And hey, bro, metal is my first love, but I love everything, bro. I jam out to 50s music, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, rock, rap, country. I do everything, bro. And I've been really getting into Japanese shit lately, and it's freaking insane. But yeah, I did that, and I really fell into a hole of like cocaine and whores and rock and roll and that life. I've been locked up 18 years, you know what I mean? Like, of course I'm going to dip into that jar.
Right.
And it kind of put me in a bad spot. I flew out west to go see my middle son. His mother is like really got her shit together. She's
how many kids do you have?
I have three.
Okay.
I have a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old, and this one.
Okay.
And so I went out west, and his mother, she's like a professional bodybuilder. She's a motivating motherfucker. I went out there, I spent a week with her and got my shit together. I came back here. I went down to a staffing company to get a job, and I walked out with a career. Because I went in there like, hey, man, I can do this job better than 90% of the people you got. I'm a people person. I can talk to anybody. I can sell a freaking Quran to a nun. You know, I can do this. He hired me on the spot. He's like, all right, I'm going to give you $500 a week. I'll give you a 2-week run. See what you can do. I killed it in those 2 weeks. Then he hired me on full time, $20 an hour on salary, $100,000 a year with quarterly commissions and jobs. Man, it was fucking beautiful. And then the pandemic came along.
Yeah.
Laid my ass down. I was at that job for almost a year. Here comes the pandemic and just laid it to waste. And I'm like, fuck. Who has that kind of luck, bro? Like that is the shittiest luck in the world. Like I've already been through a fuckload of shit in my life, and I've just landed the best career possible.
Right.
And then it just got taken away because
what was the job again now?
It was a staffing specialist at a staffing company.
Oh, okay. So you were like, and that's going to be a tough. Yeah, but that's also going to be a tough job to do. Let's say the pandemic ends, like, because it's going to be a bunch of people already looking for work. Like, I think there's one thing this pandemic did is realize that a lot of people can work from home. So a lot of businesses don't need the staff the way they thought they needed.
A ton of metal factories and these factories that forge metal and CNC machining and all that you can't do from home. They need bodies.
Oh no, I hear that.
Right.
By the way, when I first started getting into comedy, a buddy of mine that I would play basketball with, this older guy, he had a recruitment firm, and I got a sales job with him. And this is like the internet was around, but it's like in the early MySpace days, so it's not. But he would go to like.
I missed that whole era.
Oh yeah, you were in jail. You missed the MySpace. Being in jail, you missed the MySpace days. Yeah, but he would go to trade shows like plastics trade shows, get people's resumes and cards, and then like he would like, okay, they need an injection molding engineer and process engineer in Dearborn, Michigan. It pays $120,000 a year. All right, call all these people. You know. So this is like now on the internet. Maybe that job, like he still has that company and it exists, but it was easy for me to do. Because like I would just focus on like process technicians, like the guys making like $25 an hour doing the grunt work that you're talking about, and just call the floor and like talk to them. And I did pretty good placing them, and that was a sales job. It sounds like that's kind of what you were doing a little bit.
I mean, I wasn't in the sales department, but we have a sales team.
Okay, but that's what
we have 120 companies that need 40 people at each one. I'm going to go find 40 people they need. I'm going to put them to work. Okay. And I was good at it. I used it I actually went into North Erie Correctional Facility and did a job fair motivational speech for about 50 inmates and showed them like, bro, I was right where you guys are 4 years ago. Like, there's life out here. You can do this shit.
Right.
I got a bunch of them a job, helped them out. But after that we the COVID hit and we all got laid down, and it was like, fuck it. I'm going to fire up my computer and jump on camera and start a YouTube channel. And I did. And I have this limitless belief in myself that there's nothing that I can't do.
I like that positive energy. That's why I like you, man. I'll be honest, man.
Listen, every single human being on this fucking earth bleeds the same. We are all constructed the same. What the fuck makes anybody else any better than me? Like, what the fuck does Bill Gates got that I don't got? You have an education, so what? That ain't shit. Anything you can accomplish, I can do, flat out.
No, well, there is something like positive energy. It's nice to be around people that also have positive energy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's definitely something about that. Like, it's infectious. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely, it does like hit other people and like, Hey,
that's why like Gary Vaynerchuk is God to me. Like, who? I love that. Gary Vaynerchuk. I fucking love that dude.
Do I know Gary Vaynerchuk?
You should. Gary V. Like, he's a big dude. He's out of New York. He started with a whining business with his father and turned a $3 million company into a $60 million company. And now he's like this major entrepreneur and runs Vaynerchuk Media. And
I thought it was someone that I knew in your circle, no. Like Gavin,
mega millionaire, big company dude that, but he also does a lot of speeches. But he doesn't give a fuck. He's a no holds bar guy. He'll tell you, like, cut the fucking people out of your life that don't mean shit. The people that are going to hold you down. If anybody's going to hold, you got to not give a fuck. You have to have your eyes on the prize and push and believe in yourself and know that you can do it.
Well, one day when we're hanging, this is almost over, but I'm not saying this podcast is almost over, but what I'm dealing with is some stuff from New York that I used to deliver medication for a pharmacy when I wasn't doing comedy, and I got in an accident. I had a concussion. It's all proven, but this police officer just sees this guy with all these random prescriptions and is like, oh, this guy's on narcotics, and like gave me, I wasn't. I got all the proof that it wasn't. It's still in the court thing, but it's all but that dude has ruined my life financially. Like, I've had to spend so much money going out of my way, getting all this stuff to prove that, like, that's what sucks. Like, as far as police accountability, that needs to be done. Like, I don't think it's cool that they can just go around, arrest someone, said you do A, B, C, D, and E, and now, like, here you go, spend $25,000 proving that what I say is something you didn't do.
There's so much
unbelievable
bullshit that goes on in the system. It's not funny.
It's unbelievable.
The best thing you can do is be
just
public.
ruin your life whenever they want.
Right. Be public about it. That's the best thing you do.
Well, no, it's that's why I don't want to talk, because it's so far, every time it's gone, there's been no, there is no, like.
If you didn't do anything wrong, there is no evidence. What the fuck? You know what I mean?
But like, still, I've got all this evidence waiting, because they said they have it, but there's no real evidence.
Right. Obviously, if you didn't do anything wrong, there is no evidence.
But still, but yeah. So, I mean, it's still not out of the woods yet. But at the same time.
Well, that's got to be scary as hell to have hanging over your head.
Oh, it sucks. It sucks. It's taken a huge toll on me.
That's one of the beautiful things about, being free and being locked up so long gives me such an appreciation for life, man. It gives you an appreciation for freedom, because I think the majority of the world takes freedom for granted. Like, they don't, that's half the problem with the people, all this cancel culture and these offended ass people that are getting offended by every fucking, they canceled Pepe fucking Le Pew. Come on, man.
Well, you know what? I think a lot of it gives the people that are doing that are making that noise, it gives them some self-importance. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and they're stupid. You know what I've been getting? This is what I've noticed since I got back to Ohio, because of this whole hashtag woke movement.
Oh, Jesus.
These angry, racist old white dudes that like or ladies that like to yell at minorities. I can't do that now. So I've gotten yelled like at the gym. A guy yelled at me when I was running 9 miles per hour on the treadmill. He stopped me to tell me that I was breathing too heavily because I'm not wearing a mask. Because you don't have to wear a mask when you're running. And he's like, can you not breathe so heavily? Like now, because they will get filmed if they do it to a black guy or a black woman and get like put on the news. So like now as a white dude, I'm getting that shit. Like they're probably not doing it to you because you have tattoos and you're 6'5", but like, yeah, you're a 5'10" white dude. Like, yeah, I'm getting all the shit. Another thing at this bar down the street, and I don't mind it. I'm in Middleburg Heights, crashing my buddy's place, but there's this bar, Mr. B's, and it's like this little, and I like little hole in the wall things, but I'm just hanging out there, and this like 50-year-old dude who I didn't even like the guy. I didn't like the guy. He was a piece of shit. He gets so wasted, he just face plants at the bar, just falls over, and I'm like, shit, I don't want to see anyone face plant.
Right.
So this dude just face plants. I'm like, oh shit. So I told the bar owner, the bartender, and the bar. I'm like, hey, this. And he's like, well, what did you do to help him? Would you do like I'm the dick? I'm like I shot him. Like, dude, I'm not a fucking paramedic.
Right. What do you mean? I just fucking told you that's as much help as he's.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? So what did you do? I'm like, well, I picked his phone up off the floor. I think this is what he was reaching for but just the fact, like, I'm the dick here. Somehow I'm the asshole. You gave this fucking dude 40 shots of Jack Daniels and he face plants, and now I'm the dick because
You're the asshole.
I'm the asshole now.
Dude, the world has gone to some crazy shit. That's why I like Tom McDonald, man. Tom McDonald's just telling everybody shut the fuck up, and it's a beautiful thing.
Who's Tom McDonald?
He's a rapper that speaks out a lot about cultural appropriations and the woke people and the cancel culture. And he speaks some real shit, man. He's not afraid because he builds his own shit. And that's where I'm at in my life. Like, you can't cancel me, bro. You can't shut me down. I own my own cameras. I own my own shit. I do all my own videos. I'm my own boss. You can't shut me down. Yeah. And Tom McDonald's the same way. Like, you can try. Like, they tried to cancel Eminem, and Eminem was like, okay, watch this. Like, some people you can't. But it's sad how they can just get together and just because one person gets offended, they cancel people and shut people down like that. That shit is ridiculous, man. Yeah,
that's insane. I have nothing for anyone to shut down. Like, what are you gonna do? Shut down my Patreon? Like, I'm not doing anything anyways. That's like
listen, when you are transparent as fuck, people either hate you or love you. And the people that hate you, so what? You're just mad because you don't have the balls to be transparent. I own every mistake I've ever made. I own that shit. When I make that mistake, I own it. I'll come right out and say it. Yeah, I fucking did. That was a stupid move. I fucked up, but I'm human. I can't change it. There's nothing I can do about it. All I can do is focus on right here and moving forward. And
yeah.
People don't like to hear that, man. They don't like to hear that.
Yeah, it's insane. So how did you guys meet up? It's you, Gavin and Brandon, and start up your.
So Gavin is in a local band, or he was in a local band. So I knew him from the local music scene. We've always been good friends, just every time we'd seen each other. And I have a company that I'm part owner of called Savage Multimedia out in Macedonia. And I had Gavin come out for a guest spot on another podcast that we do. And he and I went to KFC. And while we're in the KFC drive-thru, I was like, man, we should do a morning podcast show about happiness and positivity. And he was like, I'm in. I was like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. I'll set it up on my computer and we'll just get it in. And we started it. We're doing it for about 2 weeks. And then I hollered at Brandon because Brandon and I had been working on some stuff. I was like, dude, you want to get in? He's like, hell yeah, I'm in. And then we launched the official show, and we just shot our 102nd episode this morning. It's a 2-hour show, Monday through Friday, every morning, and we just passed 102 fucking episodes. So we're kicking ass on that.
Well, you got like a zillion subscribers too. Like, yeah, I see the people like interacting and everything. Like, that's awesome, and that's impressive.
Thanks, man. It's people like authenticity, man. When you're an authentic individual and you're just real with it, it attracts people. Authenticity is attractive.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is like, I mean, I got already got like a little bit of a fan base, which is nice. I on the intro, I'll do a shout out to people that signed up for my Patreon or whatever.
Do
And
it.
usually I have like a comic, like just bullshit, but like I just like anything that says like some real talk.
No doubt.
So as far as like playing music, man, what were you into, man? What do you play or did you play?
Hey, knock it off. I started out as a vocalist in Grim Trigger, but I do everything. I do rap, I do country, I play acoustic guitar, I can play some drums, I play bass. I was a bass player in the Wolf Hunters. I love everything involving music, bro. So I mean, I do a little bit of everything. I got an album out on iTunes and Spotify from Grim Trigger. I've got a bunch of collaborations on rap that I've got out there. Me and my boy Boob J right here. He's one of the best rappers you'll never hear or you've never heard, but you will hear him. And I'm getting into the music management game now.
Nice. I did a rap song for Comedy Central. It's on my YouTube, Keeping It Too Real.
Oh man,
I'm a horror. Yeah, I'm a horrible. It's jokes. You know how like
I did a comedy rap with a buddy of mine, Mikhail Tot, who does Tot Productions. He's a director and a filmmaker out of Atlanta. We did a song called Morningwood, which was pretty goddamn funny. But yeah,
the premise of my dumb song was, you know how rappers always like, I keep it real, I keep it like, so I announced my social security number in the video, my address, my bank pin, everything. It's keeping it too real. It's you get the dumb joke.
No doubt. It's good stuff, man. Listen, you got to get your hands in whatever you can get in, man. The computers and the internet's the wave of the future, man. It's where everything's going to be at. So right now we're living in such a unique time, man. You can be your own business owner, your own boss, your own entrepreneur, and make your own destiny, man. Make your own future.
Yeah, I'm just now like just getting back on the road now. I'm still going to go to New York. I'm going to New York Thursday. I'll be in New York. I still got my address in New York, and I'll be in DC.
Hey.
I'll promote that at the beginning of the podcast because it's coming up. I'll be there Thursday.
You're a one hell of a comedian, bro. I tell you what, man. You're one hell of a comedian. You're
thanks, man.
So far, bro, in this game. You just keep grinding, bro. You're gonna get this.
I've been grinding too long. When does a payoff happen? I shoot a special for Drive Art Comedy in May. I like your positivity. That's why I need you around.
You need an agent and a manager, my guy. You need to come over to SVC Multimedia, and I got you. I got you. We'll sign you up, man. We'll get you moving.
Yeah, no, that's the way comedy has moved now. As far as like it used to be a big thing, like get on TV, but. I watch my buddies like Tim Dillon like blow up podcast wise. It helps that Joe Rogan that breaking them through. But you get like you create your own audience now. Now it's creating your own audience. Like even when I was in Harrisburg, like a bunch of I mean like I the two shows I did, I'd say like 23 people came out because they were familiar with my podcast or knew me from like podcasts like Misery Loves Company or Keith and the Girl, and like knew me from other things. So it really is a thing to just do your there's no gatekeepers so much anymore.
Right.
And that's kind of a good thing, because guess what? Those gatekeepers were never too cool to me. I did a bunch of shit for Comedy Central. They paid me fucking almost nothing, and I had to spend all my money producing the shit and then acting like, and don't get me wrong, and I've always said this, I'm appreciative that they put the shit on their network and the fact that they aired it. I appreciate that. But like, yeah, come
here. We're gonna have a special guest right now because he's destroying everything. Come here. So I have to hold him, or he's gonna destroy it.
Oh, that's fine.
Or he's gonna lay there and die.
This is what he's been on. When we're on smoke.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. 3 years old. He's definitely my child. Like,
yeah. What's up with your brother? Are you cool with your brother? Or is you on the outs or?
Ray, your brother fucking banged your kid's mom, had a kid with her and married her, and raised your son as his own. Are you cool with him?
No, again, I don't, dude. I don't have the answers for. You've had a lot of shit happen in the life. Now, I assume. Did he also have the same things going on when he was a kid that you had to deal with? No. Oh, no, he didn't.
No, he dodged it.
Oh, wow.
Apparently he was too fucking ugly. I don't know.
He wasn't attractive.
Right.
He didn't.
He didn't
have those
have
nice eyes.
He didn't have what it took, my guy. Right. I had the gleam in my eye, bro. He didn't have it. Apparently. His milkshake didn't bring nobody to the fucking yard. Nobody.
Yeah, that's like
It's good. I'm glad he obviously didn't get
right. But no, I hear you.
He's a douchebag and he should fucking be catapulted into a brick wall. But other than that, he's raised a good family. He's been a good dude. I can't say that he hasn't. He's been a good father to my son. He's been a good father to his own son. He's been a somewhat decent husband to her, I guess. I don't know. I don't really pay attention. But at the end of the day, I don't love him. I don't hate him. Fuck him. I don't care.
I hear you. Is he older, younger?
No, he's older. He's 19 months older than me. You crossed a line that you shouldn't have crossed.
How did he not get any of that? Wow, he must have really. So he had to be there while all that was happening to you.
Yeah,
but also, that's not on him to like. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like I said, I guess he was just ugly. Fuck, I don't know.
But that's also got to like weigh on him, knowing that was going on when you're. That
guy doesn't give a shit about anything but himself, so he doesn't care.
Yeah, he also didn't like have a. Well, how about your mom? Is you still talk to your mom or what's?
Yeah, I talked to my mother. Yeah, it's been a process of letting go. She was a single mom. She didn't have a rule book. She didn't know what the hell she was doing, and I mean, I could sit here and blame her for days if I want to. Like, you put me around those dudes. You didn't pay attention. Blah blah blah.
Right.
What the fuck? What purpose is that going to serve? That's just going to make her feel like a failure as a parent, a piece of shit. So. What good does that
do? Yeah. I mean, I haven't been in that.
Right. To me, she did the best that she could. I love her for what she did and how much she tried. And I'm not a dick to her. We talk from.
This sounds like Eminem talking about Debbie Mathers. He's got that Headlight song where he like, it's not your fault. Like, yeah.
I don't blame her. It's not her fault.
Yeah,
if it was her fault and I don't know about it, well, then it doesn't fucking hurt me because I didn't know about it. So that's something she's gonna have to deal with.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like, I mean, I love my sisters because they're my sisters, but at the same time, they don't really like my brother-in-laws like me more than my sisters do. Like my sisters have never been to a show of mine. They don't give
dicks.
They don't give a shit. Both my parents are dead. My parents both died young. My mom died when she got cancer in her 40s and died a couple years later. And then my dad essentially died of a broken heart a few years later. But yeah, but I have ADHD and I have an anxiety disorder. So back in like the 90s, like I do jokes about it, but the fact that like both my parents had full-time jobs. So I was just always in trouble just because I just couldn't shut up. I was just always like, I wasn't a mean kid or anything. I was just always in the principal's office for just because I couldn't shut up. So she's getting calls at work, like, can you come pick up your kid all the time? So I was nothing but a headache for her. I get it. She loved me, but she didn't like me. If she was alive, I would good naturedly bust her chops about it. You know what I mean? Like I would give her, she ended up liking me right on, because I don't know about you, but like me with my anxiety disorder is I run 4 miles a day at 9 miles per hour. Like I run it out of me. If I didn't do that, I couldn't fall asleep. Like I have to get the anxiety out. That's why I got to like exercise every day. It's more for the anxiety. So it wasn't until I was like 14 and I started playing basketball 6 hours a day. Suddenly I started getting good grades. Suddenly, like I was like more of a normal kid, but my sisters have always looked at me as like, my therapist has told me like, they just look at you as like you were the black sheep in the house growing up. So they, like anytime anything happened in the house, it was my fault. Like any little thing, like if my sisters wanted to watch TV and I wouldn't just give them the remote, they would call my mom and bitch at her at work. And then I would be in, like, everything was my fault. And they used that as a scapegoat. Right. But they still like kind of have that outlook towards me, if that makes sense. Like still like I'm like some black sheep. Like when I came back to Cleveland, my sister's like, well, Megan can get you a job at McDonald's if you like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm the only one to graduate from college out of the three, but like, they never like looked at me as like a real, like they've always looked down at me the way my mom used to, if that makes sense.
For sure. But at some point, you just got to not let that
No,
shit.
I don't let my therapist told me this. My therapist is like everything that's going on, but I kind of got into earlier about what I'm going through with the, me being in a car accident while I was, with the medications in my car. Yeah. Like, my therapist is like, here's the deal. If like, he related it to me like this, like, okay, you're a fan of the Cleveland Browns, right? I'm like, yes, that's my football team. All right. The fact that you don't need to let your sisters know everything that's going on in your life. It's like you like the Cleveland Browns. It's not going to do them any good to invite you into the huddle. Like, this is the play we're going to run. What do you think about it? What do you like?
Right.
They're not helping you
At all.
do that play. So who gives a shit? That has nothing to do with them. You don't need to say anything to them. Like, just, you know,
life is a movie theater, bro. Your life is a movie. And you get to determine who the fuck gets in that movie theater. You get to determine who's in the front row. You get to determine who's in the middle, who's in the back, and who don't even get in the motherfucking cinema.
Yeah, because like I have an anxiety disorder. So sometimes like my sisters like all they do is like the negative energy about whatever. They don't know what's going on in my life. They don't know. Like I've been on TV. They've never even watched this shit.
Yeah, fuck them.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I want to.
It sounds to me like you got a lot of pent up fucking frustration about it, right?
No,